Bigfoot, or imagination, a midnight enigma. The dense forest behind my grandmother's cottage was always a place of mystery. She would tell us stories from her younger years about strange noises and far-off shadows that she'd spotted amongst the trees. Being a city dweller all my life, those stories felt like a distant world, reserved for folklore. Until one summer, I decided to spend the summer at her place, intending to write and enjoy the serenity that the woodland provided. Days quickly turned into nights, and soon I found a routine. Every night, after dinner, I would sit on the patio with a cup of tea, listening to the nocturnal symphony of crickets and distant owl hoots. One evening, as a thin fog rolled in, I decided to take a walk along the forest's edge. Armed with nothing but a flashlight and my curiosity, I ventured into the maze of trees and sounds. I'd walked this path countless times during the day and thought I knew it like the back of my hand. The fog grew denser as I walked, and the familiar path started to look increasingly foreign. It was eerily quiet, save for the sound of my shoes crunching leaves and the distant hoot of an owl. After what felt like hours, I decided to turn back. But which way was back? The fog had swallowed my bearings. Panicking, I tried retracing my steps, but every direction seemed wrong. I decided to head in one direction, hoping to find a clearing or some sign of a path. That's when I heard it. A soft but deep breathing sound. It wasn't the wind, nor was it any animal I could recognize. The hair on my neck stood on end. I aimed my flashlight towards the sound, and what I saw next froze me in place. There, in the hazy outline of my beam, was a massive creature, covered in thick, coarse hair. It stood upright on 2 feet, its eyes reflecting a deep amber. Though the fog obscured most of its features, its silhouette was undeniably humanoid, but much taller and broader than any human I'd ever seen. My mind raced. Was this the legendary Bigfoot my grandmother talked about? Or was it just my imagination playing tricks on me, turning a shadow or tree into a creature of myth? Curiosity overwhelmed my fear, and I took a hesitant step forward. The creature didn't move. Encouraged, I took another step, but as I did, a twig snapped under my foot. The sound echoed through the still night, and the creature let out a deep, guttural growl that reverberated through the forest. I didn't stick around to find out more. Dropping my flashlight in my panic, I ran blindly, relying on instinct and adrenaline. I could hear heavy footsteps behind me, but I didn't dare look back. Just as I thought my lungs would give out, I stumbled into a clearing. I recognized this place. I was near the cottage. I sprinted the last stretch, burst through the back door, and slammed it shut, gasping for breath. I peered out of the window, half expecting to see the creature staring back at me. But there was nothing. Only the quiet forest veiled in fog. The next morning, after a sleepless night, I ventured out to retrieve my flashlight. As I retraced my steps, I found large footprints not far from where I'd dropped it. They were unlike any animal tracks I'd ever seen. The prints were roughly shaped like a human's, but much larger, with distinct impressions of massive toes. I took photos, though they turned out quite blurry, much like my recollections of the previous night. Were they genuine, or just a result of the ground's natural contours? I showed them to my grandmother, and her face went pale. She'd seen them before, decades ago. The rest of my stay was uneventful. However, that experience changed my perspective. Was it Bigfoot, or just an interplay of fog, fear, and imagination? I can't say for sure. To this day, when I tell this story, reactions are mixed. Some believe it's just a made-up tale or a result of panic in an unfamiliar environment. But others, especially those who've spent nights in those woods, they look at me with understanding eyes, having had their own unexplained experiences. Whether it was Bigfoot, a shadow, or just my mind playing tricks, that forest holds mysteries I may never fully understand. And while I've ventured back many times since, I've never again walked there alone at night. Thank you for listening to Storyteller's Realm of Fear. I hope this tale has sent shivers down your spine and made you question the mysteries that lurk in the darkness. In these uncertain times, it's crucial to stay safe and vigilant, especially during the night walks that beckon curiosity. If you hunger for more spine-tingling stories and wish to explore the depths of fear with me, please consider subscribing to Storyteller's Realm of Fear. We have many more tales of terror waiting in the shadows, ready to be unleashed upon your eager ears. Until then, may your nights be peaceful, your dreams undisturbed, and your footsteps cautious when venturing into the unknown. Fear, after all, is a doorway to a world of mysteries best approached with caution. Good night, dear listeners, and remember to stay safe.